Here's another cull. Just stacked their top box on the trailer. Found the queen in there and killed her. Now I've got almost 2 boxes of drawn comb I can use. So it's April 8th. Got done with my second round of splits yesterday. Dropped all the cells in. And I'm just going back through and basically playing cleanup. Going through yards that have been split and I haven't checked in a couple of weeks to see who needs boxes and just anything. I'm actually enjoying the work today. Last couple of days I've just been rush all day long to get everything done. And today I can look and enjoy seeing some white wax here and see how many frames of honey they've got and all that. This is a hive that I took 2 splits out of, took 8 frames of brood out of on 3/30. This is 4/8, so it's been less than 2 weeks. And they're up here putting honey in. It's a good outcome. I may dive into this one and just make sure they don't have any signs of swarming. So we've got a super here of drawn comb that's got actually quite a bit of weight in it, probably 20 pounds. And then I go into these boxes. We're just starting to put drone brood back in. So the 10 frames of drawn comb I gave them, looks like they've got at least 1 frame of capped brood up here. We've got some queen cups going in. Doesn't look like anything concerning. It's normal for this time of year. If we can just get them to flip the switch into the main honey flow without swarming, I think we'll be okay. We've got about 3 weeks to go, and I bet I'll have to take another 3-frame split out of this one. Looks like I'm gonna have a pretty good take this week. I think I've counted 41 out of 45. I had 1 cup fall right there. Right there. Fell out of that spot, which is odd. And importantly, they've all got a lot of royal jelly, which is good. So I think I will continue this. Continue giving them some pollen patty because they've eaten a lot of that. I put a 3/4 rim on this thing so that it would give the bees somewhere to go above the graft frame, because I haven't been getting as good a take on that top bar. I've been getting a better take on the middle and the bottom bar, and my thought was that would give room for bees to cover the top bar of that frame, and it might help. Well, that's the underside of my lid there, so yeah, I think it has helped. A lot of bees over the top of that graft frame. So I've got to say I've gotten pretty lazy in the way that I'm making splits. I'm not pushing brood down into the bottom box. I'm opening the top, looking at population, looking at when I put on the last box, and that's telling me whether I can get 2 splits out of them or just 1. Some of them I'm splitting multiple times. This hive was super strong. I pulled 2 splits out of it on 3/30. I pulled 1 3-frame split on 4/7. And now I've added a super with some drawn comb, and I think they're satisfied until the flow. My box management strategy's pretty simple. This hive was still in 3, so it became a dirty split, basically. I actually did find the queen and put her in here. I'll let her get going and get some brood in there, use it for resources and split it further, and probably end up killing her and requeening that with a cell. That was part of it. That's got a cell in it. And anything that's not in 4, that's not progressing, is a potential cull at this time of year. This hive is not. That's a queen from last year. That's where I moved the queen out of my builder and gave her a box of comb, and I've been feeding her. I'm gonna try to make honey with them. But this one here there's no reason for them to be in 3 boxes still. I had to reduce them in winter, or in February I reduced them, and they're just slow getting going. So I'll probably requeen all 3 parts of that and repopulate some of my stands. Pretty simple. The tall ones are doing good, the short ones are not. I saw something small and moving in here. Oh, we got us a little snake here. I think he just went under that metal. Oh, there he is. It looks like a Decay's brown snake. He sure is good at hiding. There he is. Little fella. Pretty sure that was a Decay's brown. They eat slugs and stuff like that. Totally harmless. We're about 3 minutes away from the darkest part of the eclipse, and the peepers in the pond, the little frogs, started peeping. The bees are quieting down. Seems like they flooded home a few minutes ago, just like they do in the evening. Kind of eerie, peaceful. Pretty neat to witness a eclipse in a bee yard. I just came down to the pond to try to catch a bass. I heard humming. These willows are in bloom and my bees are covering them up. Kind of surprising. This Chinese holly in my yard experienced a lot of dieback. A couple years ago, we had a -20 wind chill, and it did not bloom last year. The bees love this tree. Looks like it will bloom this year. That's probably a week away. It usually blooms around the 15th of April. And the American holly, next to my Chinese holly, didn't experience any dieback. So it's in its range here. But it won't bloom until about May 1st to May 5th. It's an eastern king snake. He eats copperheads and anything else he can overpower. Apparently he's living in my carport tube here. He's about to head back in there. Got my tank up to almost 300 here. So we are just about ready to get started. Oh, great. Well, I did have a thermometer clipped on right there. That makes 2 of them that are down in that tank. It's wonderful. We're up to almost 300. Gotta get going. So I've got, I don't know, 116, 120 bottom boards there that I've got to get wax dipped. And then I've got a pallet of about 100 supers that I'm gonna try to get done. And I think that'll be about it for today. Well, here's the other side of that same tube. King snake went in on the other side. This looks like a black racer coming out on this side. He's about to pull his head out. That's interesting. black racers and king snakes both eat other snakes. Yep, that's a black racer, North American racer. So between those two, I don't know who would win. My dad is terrified of snakes, so if I tell him there's 2 over here, he's gonna ask me why I didn't kill them, and then he's never gonna go near the tractor again. But both those are beneficial. They must have had a discussion in there. Pretty cool, those bottom boards look completely dry. The water just beads up and rolls off. It's Friday, April 12th, and yet again the weather and the calendar are making things a challenge. I've had the last 3 days have been rainy and cool, so I've spent some time in the honey house. I wax dipped yesterday. I've delivered honey and freed up today so that I can work bees once it warmed up enough to work bees. I've got grafts that need to go in the incubator tomorrow, and tomorrow around lunchtime I'm taking my son on a Cub Scouts camping trip. It's an overnighter, so we'll be back on Sunday. So I've got a little bit of work time Sunday afternoon if I need to use it, which I probably will, but I don't want to. And then Monday, I've got to pull splits and get my cells dropped. So I think I'm gonna have 40 or 41 cells this week, which is a pretty good size split for what I've got left. I've got 2 yards I've split out of twice, 1 yard I've split out of once, and 2 yards that I haven't split yet. And they really could use another week before I split them. I don't think the bees will have progressed too much this week because it's been cool and cloudy and raining. I'm debating whether I want to go ahead and do another round of grafts or not. This one that I'm gonna make on Monday will be my 3rd round. I've got 73 now, and adding 40 or so to that, and we're 2 to 2.5 weeks away from the main flow right now. So I don't want to split them down too hard, but I also need more splits than what I've got. That'd put me at 110-ish, somewhere around there that I've made. I was planning on making about 180 this year, but I might be able to feed up the first round that I made and then split them and do another round of splits in May. I think that might be a reasonable plan. I'm going to look through all of my hives in these yards, even the ones that I've already split, and see if they've progressed. If they've rebounded, then we'll see. Today will determine whether I'm going to do a 4th round of grafting right now, or if I'm going to wait 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm already at the point in the season where I've got to have splits. My weather has stabilized. I've got warm nighttime temperatures for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm making 3 frame splits, 3 medium frames, 2 frames of brood, 1 frame of food. And I'm splitting colonies that could probably wait a week or 2 because I've got to have them. I've got queens emerging next Wednesday. I'm dropping them into nukes on Monday. And I'm down to foundation. I don't have any more draw and comb. So I took 3 frames out of this box, dropped them 3 foundations, and I will feed them to try to get them to draw those foundations out, and set an excluder over top and put this split box on top and come pull it on Monday. I feel like I'm taxing some of these pretty hard. Some of the littler ones I'm skipping for at least another week. They really don't need to be split before the flow, I bet. But some of them I feel like I'm taxing pretty hard, but I've got to have it. 2 splits out of that one, 1 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 out of that one. That's a cull. They're not giving me anything. This one, open it up, does not look well populated. I've got a little bit of worker brood left, but she's laying drones where she shouldn't. So I think this colony has gone drone layer. So that's a cull. I'll get 3 splits out of that and just expand this yard out. I'll drop a cell in each part of this. So I've been around to 2 yards to pull splits, and I think I'm up to 23. And I need, depending on how many cells the bees have culled, I need probably 38 to 41 is what I'm expecting. I've got 1 more yard to go to. I'm expecting to get no more than 9 out of there, which would leave me needing 7 or 8 or 9. I think I can pull that out of my home yard, but I'm probably going to dissolve the builder to do it. I just don't have the excess strength to do another big round of splits, I don't think. I might be able to do another round of 10, 15, maybe 20, something like that, but I can't do another round of 40. And again, we're 2.5 weeks to the main flow, so I think I might just let the bees build up a little bit and maybe start splitting my splits. So I'm finishing up splits for the day. This is a yard of colonies I got from Bob Beanie. This little colony here, I don't know if there's a 2-year-old queen in here or what. I gave them a box of drawn comb just like I did everybody else and fed them. But they stored syrup in that top box and didn't grow up into it, and then decided to make swarm cells. So I just pulled 6 frames out of the top box. We got 3 in here, 3 in here, and there's a frame with swarm cells on each one of those. There are no other swarm cells in that between the top and the bottom box, so hopefully I got them all and can convince them to stay home. But I just replaced 6 frames of foundation in here, so I imagine they're still going to swarm, and there's nothing I'm going to do about it because I don't have any deep nuke boxes. I would just split that thing 6 ways from Sunday, but I can't. That's as good as I'm going to do right now. Came out to my home yard to pull grafts today and get them in the incubator and set it and split my cell builder. And I've got just probably 3 hives in this yard that have not been split yet. I wanted to check on them to see if any of them needed to be culled out. This one, I added a 1/4 of drawn comb on 327, and they've got that probably 2/3 full. Good honey. I don't know what it is. It's an okay, I'd say above average. It's not fantastic, but it's pretty good. And we've got drone brood. We've got a few cups. I think they could use a little bit of a pullback, but I don't have enough hives in this yard to split the whole yard. So I think what I might do is start grading some early queens in my first round of nukes next week. And hives like this that need to lose a couple of frames of sealed brood, I can just use to boost up some of my early nukes that are queen right. So it's been 15, 16 days since I made that first round of nukes, and I think next week I should be able to find a few that are queen right and give them a boost. That'll give me a place to put this extra brood, get these girls into the flow fat and happy, and hopefully the swarming tendency will not be there. Well, I'm changing my mind. I've poked into enough of these colonies in this yard that could use just a little bit of a pullback, that I think I'm going to do another round of grafting into this cell builder. But I don't have time to do that today because I'm taking my son to Cub Scouts camp out. So I think what I'm gonna do is pull everything but like one cell out of the builder and pull them into the incubator, and then come back Sunday, day after tomorrow, and I'll graft into it again. May do 45 and then cull that down to 30 or something. You know, if I have extra queen cells, so be it. Don't have to use them all. It's pretty good looking cells this time. I've already taken one out, so I had 1, 2, 3, 4 misses. I'll note that these extra long cells like that may not be a good thing. If there's royal jelly up in the top of that, then the larvae may have fallen. There's another one or two down here that look extra long. So I'll actually pull those apart and make sure that there's a queen in there. Those can be culls. I think the pollen patty I gave this builder really helped them, along with a couple of frames of brood. A lot of jelly in these. That's good.